Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is now week 8 in the NFL, so we're back with my weekly NFL predictions. If you enjoy the content, make sure you do like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. With that being said, let's get to my week 8 NFL predictions. Yeah, sorry I missed last week. I'm still sick, but I feel a lot better than I did last week, so thank you for bearing with me. Sorry I didn't get those picks out, but we are here with the previous week recap. So these were my predictions from last week. So Jaguars versus Saints. I kind of just knew the Jaguars going to win. Saints just don't strike me as a good team right now. Bears beat the Raiders. Yeah, Raiders. Both your backup quarterbacks just struggle bus. I don't think Brian Hoyer is the guy. Unfortunately, Aiden O'Connell maybe. Browns beat the Colts. Yeah, Colts. That game definitely could have gone either way, but Browns edge out the Colts. Patriots beat the Bills. Yeah, did not expect the Bills to put up another stinker, but it is what it is. Giants beat the Commanders. Worst game of the year so far. Worst game of the year, but Giants get it done. Falcons beat the Bucks. Also, not a great game, but Falcons get it done. Ravens beat the Lions. Yeah, Lions finally came back down to earth, and struggle bus for them against the Ravens. Steelers beat the Rams. Pretty good win for the Steelers. Seahawks beat the Cardinals. Great win for my Seahawks. Broncos. Well, I say great win. We could have played better, but win's a win. Broncos beat the Packers. Good for the Broncos, Finally, getting another one in the win column for them. Chiefs beat the Chargers. Yeah, Chargers. I don't know what the answer is, but whatever they're doing is not the answer. Eagles beat the Dolphins. Yeah, Eagles looking very, very good. I'm very impressed. And Vikings upset the 49ers. Did not expect that one, but Vikings got it done. 6-6 last week. It is what it is. I feel like a lot of these games just they come down to 50-50s, and I just got unfortunately I'm unfortunately on the other side of those 50-50s. Week 7, I'm 60-45, not bad, plus 15 on the year, so it is what it is. And we are over to my weekly NFL rankings. So coming in at number 5, might be a little controversial, but I still think the Dolphins have one of the best offenses in the league. I know they've lost twice, but compared to a lot of the other teams, I'm just more confident in the Dolphins as opposed to other teams. So yeah, I got the Dolphins there. Jaguars at number 4. Jaguars, they're playing weird football. It's a very strange football, but they're getting dubs, so it's working, I guess. Next, number 3, the Ravens. I'm very impressed with the Ravens. Lamar is playing, I would say, at an MVP level. He's playing super well. I'm very impressed with Lamar. If he can continue this, I would have him in the MVP conversation for sure, and I think their defense is the real deal, so if they can continue this, I'm very optimistic for the Ravens. Coming in at number 2 is the Chiefs. I did slide the Chiefs back, not necessarily because of anything they're doing, but mainly because I think the Eagles are just the best team right now. Offensively, super good. Defensively, even better. I think my rankings are pretty accurate as of right now. Alrighty, and there are no teams on the bye this week, so there are 16 games. However, we will not be discussing 8 of them. So this is just something I do, just slims down the video a little bit, just so we don't have to go through a lot of the teams that are playing poorly, I would say. So let's get to it. So the early window games that we are not discussing on Sunday, I got the Vikings 31 at the Packers 24. I just think the Vikings are the better team right now, and I don't trust Jordan Love almost whatsoever. I got the Falcons over the Titans. The Falcons are just playing better football. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans won, but I think the Falcons' defense is just not terrible. So I think they can get that dub. Saints 20 at the Colts 28. I think the Colts are going to be okay with Gardner Minshew. He's playing very well, and I'm very impressed, and I have no confidence in the Saints, especially I don't think Chris Olave will be playing. So yeah, it is what it is for the Saints. I have the Patriots 27 at the Dolphins 40. I think Dolphins will rebound after the loss last week, and I think they're going to hang quite a lot of points on the Patriots. I got the Jets 24 at the Giants 23. That might be a little controversial, but I think the Jets are better, and I want the Jets to win, so I got the Jets 24 at the Giants 23. Texans 34 at the Panthers 20. Panthers are a struggle bus, and I expect CJ Stroud to play very well this week. And our late window Sunday games, the only one we're not discussing is the Ravens 34 at the Cardinals 17. Yeah, I don't think the Cardinals really have a prayer in this one. I'll be surprised if they score more than 17 points, but I think the Ravens are going to be quite comfortable in this game. And the Sunday night game we are not discussing is the Chargers 34 at the Bears 31. I expect this to be an offensive just shootout. I don't expect the Chargers or the Bears defense to really do a whole lot. They haven't done a whole lot all year. So, yeah, that is the games that we are not discussing this week. And to the first game that we are discussing, it is Thursday Night Football. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Buffalo Bills. So for the Buccaneers, they got to protect Baker. He is just running for his damn life. He's getting hit so hard on so many plays. Protect him for the love of everything, please. And if they can find a run game, I think it'll help this offense quite a bit because, like I said, Baker's kind of just running for his life and he's getting lit up. So if they can find a run game, it'll help them. And I think their defense is hungry, but their offense is too stagnant. You have tremendous playmakers in your wide receiver pool. I don't understand how this offense doesn't score more than 13 points last week. It doesn't make sense to me. As for the Bills, they play like crap the last 3 games, and they need to figure out what the issue is and get it taken care of because they are a struggle bus right now, and I am not confident in the Bills going forward. I think Josh is trying to do too much. You don't need to be Superman on every single play. There are certain drives where you might need to be Superman, especially in the fourth quarter, but you don't need to be Superman all 4 quarters. And yeah, I don't think Josh has learned that quite yet. I think if they run the ball more than a couple of times, this sounds like a recipe for success to me. So run the ball just a little bit. Buffalo. I do have the Buffalo Bills winning this one. Buffalo 27, Buccaneers 24. I'm just not confident in the Buccaneers, but I'm also not super confident in the Bills. So this one could go either way, but I'm leaning Bills right now. Our first early window game that we're discussing is the LA Rams at the Dallas Cowboys. So for the Rams, I think they have great wide receivers, but their run game definitely needs work. I think if they can get a solid run game, I think this team is pretty decent enough to probably sneak into the playoffs. I'm trying to start a discussion here. Is Matt Stafford the problem? Is he one of the problems? Because I'm not very impressed with him, and I just don't see the same quarterback that won his Super Bowl. I'm not seeing it anymore. I'm not so sure what Matt Stafford is anymore. He's very turnover prone. They throw the ball a lot on this team, and I don't see good things right now for the Rams. I think their secondary needs work. They're consistently getting burned by almost every single team they've played. So it just needs more work. Needs to be more consistent. As for the Cowboys, I think Dak played his best game ever last week. I'll say ever in air quotes. I haven't looked at every single game he's ever played, but as far as I can tell, that was a tremendous game from Dak. I think if he can play like that, I think this team could go to a Super Bowl, but they have to play like that. So I think they have no run game with Pollard. I don't think Pollard is the answer, in my opinion. I think he's a good secondary back or complementary back, but I don't think he is the bell cow back that this Cowboys team needs. But I think if they keep feeding CD, I see them winning games. I don't see this team going to the NFC Championship, in my opinion. Just because I struggle to be confident enough in this offense to put them in those conversations. So that being said, I did want to put the Rams over the Cowboys this week, but I just can't do it. I think the Cowboys will win this game. Cowboys 27, Rams 20. I expect the Cowboys to turn the ball over and get this dub. Our next game is the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Pittsburgh Steelers. So for the Jaguars, I think they're winning despite not playing super well. I think they make a lot of mistakes, especially on offense, and they still get dubs. So it is what it is, I guess. I think if their run game with ETN continues, this team will have so much success. I think ETN is a very underrated back. I think every time he gets the ball in his hands, this team is playing super well. So if you can continue with ETN, if he can continue playing like he's been playing, I'm very confident in this team. I think their defense is coming into form. They play so hungry. They are running to the ball, running to every single person that they have to tackle. I'm just super impressed with the Jaguars defense. I hope they can continue because I like this team. As for the Steelers, I think they're finding ways to win late. I think they've been down in every single game this year. Don't quote me on that, but I think they've been down in every single game this year, and they still have a positive record. So whatever they're doing is working, and I think their defensive line is one of the best in the league, one of the best for sure. I'm super impressed with T.J. Watt. He just has a knack for finding the football. It's amazing. I'm just super impressed with this defensive line. But I think Kenny Pickett just needs to do more. He needs to play all 4 quarters, and I'm just not sure how capable he is of doing that. That's why I got the Jaguars winning this one. I got the Jaguars 24, Steelers 20. This one could go either way, in my opinion, but I'm leaning Jaguars right now. Our next game we're discussing is the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Commanders. So for the Eagles, I didn't write it down, but this is a trap game for the Eagles. Commanders always play the Eagles super tough, so be careful, Philadelphia. I think the Commanders are going to come to play this week for sure. So, Hurts, I think he played his best game of the year last week. If he can just play like he did last year, or even just last week, I think his team can go back to the Super Bowl. I think if they keep running the ball with Swift, a recipe for success, in my opinion. If you have a good running back that can consistently get you between 70 to 90 yards a game, I think that's a great running back, and I think Swift can do that. So feed that man. And I think their defense continues to play at an elite level, and I think they need to continue that for this team to be successful. They have so many good pieces on that defensive line. I'm just super impressed with the Eagles right now. As for the Commanders, Sam Howell's not the guy. I don't see it. I don't see anything. I don't see a light at the end of the tunnel for him. I'm not impressed with Sam Howell at all. At least with Taylor Heinicke, I think Taylor Heinicke still puts you into situations where you could win games, and I just don't see Sam Howell doing that. I think they get very little contribution from the run game. I think they ran for 50 yards last week with their the running back that had the most yards. So just not a recipe for success for this team. They need a run game in order to win games, and I think their defense is good enough, but the offense just doesn't feel good enough. I'm just not impressed with this offense at all, and I'm sorry, Commanders fans. I'm sorry to drag you guys through the mud a little bit, but I think the Eagles will win this game. I got the Eagles 34, Commanders 27. It might, like I said, this is a trap game for the Eagles, so we'll see. Our next game is our first late window game we're discussing. It is the Cleveland Browns at my Seattle Seahawks. So for the Browns, no Deshaun Watson again. P.J. Walker will start. P.J. Walker, I mean, he did enough to win last week, so that's kind of all they really need him to do. For the Browns, they want to run the ball forever and ever. It really sucks they don't have Nick Chubb, but they continue to run the ball, and I think if they continue to run the ball well, this team will be very good. However, the Seahawks' defensive or their run game stoppage is pretty decent, so it'll be a good game for sure. I think their defensive line is the best in the league. I think their defensive line is so good at getting to the running backs, to the quarterbacks, and I'm just super impressed with this team. They are super resilient, and no matter what, they're in games. So I'm very impressed with the Browns right now. As for the Seahawks, I think their red zone efficiency needs to continue to improve. It was better last week, but against the Bengals, it was ass. It was so bad, and it just not a good recipe for this team to win. I think Geno dropping dimes to rookies is a great thing. Jake Bobo and Jackson Smith and Jigba, super good. I think both of them will be very good. I'm not sure if DK is coming back this week, but with 4, in my opinion, great options in the wide receiver room, I'm super optimistic for my team. They should improve that red zone efficiency, and this team is going to be very good. And I think our defense is good enough. Our defense looks good enough. We did just lose Nwosu for the year. Unfortunately, that really sucks for him. I think we just signed him to a long-term deal, so hopefully he's back with us next year. But we just signed Frank Clark. We'll see what he's got left in the tank. I would like to see my Seahawks make a move, but I'm not sure what the market is looking like on Chase Young, so we'll see. That being said, I got my Seahawks winning this game. I got the Seahawks 27, Browns 23. I just think the Seahawks offense will get more points than the Browns offense, in my opinion. So, got the Seahawks 27, Browns 23. Our next game is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Denver Broncos. Can we just not play this game because the Chiefs are gonna just win this game, and I think it'll be 17 straight wins against the Broncos. How? How does that happen? It's so dumb. Anyway, Chiefs. I said the Eagles game was a trap game against the Commanders. This game is also a trap game, but I think the Chiefs will win this game regardless. Spoiler alert. I think Mahomes, he just needs to take care of the football, and that's kind of the only issue I'm really seeing on offense lately. I think their wide receivers and Travis Kelce do enough for them to win. Don't think their run game exists too much, but when you have Mahomes, who gives a shit in my opinion. But for the Broncos, I think they got a decent win last week, but I don't know. Their offense still isn't looking super great. I think if they can run the ball like last week, I think they can be a little bit more consistent. But we'll see. We'll see against this Chiefs defense. I think Russ can't try to do too much like the last time he played this team. I think if he can just do enough to game manage and just take care of the football, I think his team can be competitive in this game. I got the Chiefs winning this game. Chiefs 31. Yeah, Broncos 20. I don't think the Broncos have a prayer. Our next game is the Cincinnati Bengals at the San Francisco 49ers. So for the Bengals, I think their defense is always right where they need to be in order to make plays. Every single time Geno was throwing bad passes or our running back was trying to bounce it outside, they were there. They were always there, and they are really good at just being in the right place at the right time. I think if Joe Mixon can be used more on the offense, this team can make it back to the AFC Championship game. I genuinely believe that. I think their defense is good enough to get them there. Their offensive line needs a little bit more work, just more time to gel together, I think. But keep feeding Jamar Chase and get Joe Mixon involved, and I think this team can be one of the greats for sure. As for the Niners, I think Purdy is out for this game, so Sam Darnold will start if Purdy is out. And they have confirmed Debo is out again, so no Debo. McCaffrey, I think he will need to get 20 plus carries this week. He will need to be leaned on quite heavily. And I'm not sure how injured he is, so doesn't seem like a recipe for success in my opinion. But if any team can do it, it's a Kyle Shanahan offense-led team. I think their secondary lets too many plays go by. They're letting too many catches happen and then reacting to those. I think their linebacker duo is super amazing and tremendous, and they are not the problem at all. They're not who I'm discussing. I'm mainly talking about the secondary. The secondary are just letting too many plays happen and not reacting fast enough to those plays to prevent the plays from happening. So if they can improve that, I will be a lot more confident in the 49ers team. But as of right now, I don't think Purdy's going to play. So I do have the Bengals winning this game. I got the Bengals 24, Niners 20. I expect this to be a defensive slugfest, but I think the Bengals will edge this game out. And going into Monday Night Football, it is the Las Vegas Raiders at the Detroit Lions. So, Raiders. Brian Hoyer is not the answer. Shocking, I know. He is not the answer at all. Not even a little bit. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Get him out of there. Aiden O'Connell, if that's who you got to go with, that's who you got to go with. But I just feel bad for this team. I feel bad for the fans. It just really sucks to be a Raiders fan, I guess. I don't think Josh Jacobs is the same guy anymore. I know he's had a couple of injuries. I know he kind of got paid, kind of didn't. Not a super long-term deal or anything, but he just doesn't seem like the same guy anymore. And I just don't think he has the incentive to try. So it kind of just sucks. I think their defense has moments, but their offense sucks. Their offense, there's no ifs and buts about it. I just don't think Josh McDaniels is the right answer at head coach, and I'm just not seeing anything good on this offense. I think you try to start to rebuild if you're a Raider, in my opinion, because you have a lot of great pieces. If you can get stuff for Devontae, maybe Max Crosby, and slowly start to rebuild. Try and get some young pieces and see what you can do. Because and I know it's hard to say that because the Raiders are, I think, 4-3. So I'm just not really confident in the Raiders right now. Or I'm pretty sure they're 4-3, by the way. As for the Lions, I think they got a much needed wake up call last week. So hopefully they will come prepared, more prepared than the other week. So I'm hoping the Lions can rebound. I think their run game needs to be leaned on more. They passed the ball, I think it was 53 or 55 times last week. And I know they were down the entire game, so they were trying to claw their way back in, but you can't throw the ball 55 times. That's not a recipe for success. Jahmyr Gibbs, and if I think it's David Montgomery, if he's back this week, they need to be leaned on much more than they have been. I think their defense needs to ball hawk. They just don't get turnovers from what I'm seeing. So if they can ball hawk, get turnovers, I think this team can be pretty decent, win their division, and we'll see what they can do in the playoffs. That being said, I do have the Lions winning this game. Lions 31, Raiders 20. I just don't think the Raiders have a prayer. Alrighty, and that will conclude my Week 8 NFL predictions. Did you agree with any of my picks? Disagree? Let me know in the comment section down below. I will catch you guys next week with my Week 9 picks next Thursday. So, I'll catch you guys next time.